model of the Acropolis. Though it will give you a perfect idea, it's not a very well, let's say, oriented. At the moment, we are somewhere at this point, and we will be, during our tour, we'll be passing through the main entry gate, which was a double entryway, and we will be walking on the slope and reach the temple for Trajanus temple. During our walk, the foundations you'll be seeing on the right hand side will be the houses for the Attalid kingdom. Right after the period of Diakai, it was Lysimachus, one of the generals of Alexander the Great, who became the owner of the lands over here. Seleucus established the Seleucid kingdom on the lands of present-day Syria, and two other generals, Ptolemies, they established their rule on the Egyptian lands, and the last one on the eastern part of what we can call as the present-day Turkey. And Seleucids, they did not want one of them in between the motherland and themselves. So they started to have a type of a political turmoil, which ended up going on a battle in between. So Lysimachus entrusted the remaining part of the Alexander the Great's treasury, his cut from that treasury, into the city to the commander of the castle, whose name was Phileteros, and he started his campaign. And Phileteros, he just changed sides when Lysimachus left the city, and the remaining part, 9,000 talents of gold, was kept in the city. And in the Hellenistic age, one talent, though in different sources you can come across with the different kilogram equivalents of it, it will not be wrong for me to make a very rounding number like 30 kilograms. So 9,000 times 30 kilograms, it makes 270 tons of gold. That was Lysimachus's cut.
That's more than I have in my bank account.
For most of us, unfortunately. So this is actually one of the reasons why, when we talk about the library, when we talk about the beautiful decorations of the city, this city became very rich. And after Phileteros, Eumenes the first, Attalos the first, Eumenes the second, Attalos the second, Eumenes the third, Attalos the third, we can talk about 6 kings who ruled what we can call as the Pergamon kingdom, which stretched the lands from the Bithynia, from Bursa area, all the way down to the Mediterranean coastline. Even the city of Antalya, with the ancient name Attalia, was founded by the Pergamon kingdom's rule. And nearly what we can call as Cappadocia, the central Turkey, was also the Pergamon kingdom's rule. But the very last king, as he understood the crushing power of the Romans, he bequeathed his lands to the Romans. He didn't also have a male heir at the end. So Romans, with the support that they have received from the Pergamon kingdom, made an easy entry to the lands of Anatolia. And this is one of the main reasons why when the Provincia Asia was announced, it was 3 cities who rivaled to become the capital city of it. Pergamon was one of them, Smyrna was the other, and Ephesus was the third. Eventually, Ephesus became the capital city of Provincia of Asia, but Romans never forget the sweet victory that was presented to them on a plate. Without the loss of any soldiers, they were able to gain the control of the lands. And the map over here, these are the 6 palaces that I was talking about. At the tip of the fortification walls, we can talk about the arsenals over here, which also indicates the direction of the aqueducts coming from the northwestern hills. The Trajanus temple, whenever I'm here with an architect, you can just leave them over there and they can stare at those vaulted galleries and how they raised how they in a way created a platform that they can construct a huge temple like the one that we're going to see. It amazes them. And it's like the end of the first, beginning of the 2nd century AD that the Romans were able to build it. Then we will be passing through the sections where those galleries will be visited by us, and then we will get to the Timenos area, or the sacred courtyard of the Athena temple. While we're doing it, the ancient world's second most famous library, Pergamon Library, will be there. And I'm holding what we can call as the parchment that I just received from the souvenir store over there, so that I will pass this to you. So when Paul was saying, bring my parchments, he was making a reference to what you'll be holding in the hand. And after seeing the Athena zone, we will be seeing the steepest theater, and also we will get very close to the foundation of the altar.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is come down and sit on these theater
Okay.
seats, and then we can talk,
Okay.
find a shady spot,
Okay.
and then we could walk out by going past the altar
Altar and
of
the
Zeus,
same.
and then make our way out.
And
What is this?
That
this
is the stoa, basically. This is the theater, and then this is the, we'll talk about the theater and theater construction when we get there, but this is the Skene. That is
And
where
that
the
was-
scenes
yeah.
were.
That was the Dionysos temple over here.
Right.
The Acropolis is actually divided into two parts over here. They fought with the topography up to a certain extent, but this very rocky and hilly section, they couldn't do anything. So even the Acropolis was divided into Upper Acropolis and Lower
Well,
Acropolis.
3 levels actually. There's the middle Acropolis, then the lower Acropolis.
Yeah.
When we came up on the trolley, whatever you want to call it, you could see 3 gates, entrances, and city entrances.
Mhm.
To the first, you're going to see the lower Acropolis, then the middle Acropolis, and then the upper Acropolis. So it was well developed, the
So
whole
at
hill.
the very low section, we have some bath complexes.
Yeah.
A section dedicated to Hera, the wife of Zeus, and Demeter, the goddess of fertility, and a gymnasium complex, which is one of the largest complexes that you can
With a
come
running
across.
track, a straight running track. They couldn't build an overrunning track because it's on the hillside, but it's a sprint track. Kind of like a drag race, only for human beings. This is a palaestra, colonnaded courtyard where people would exercise. A little Odeon here for musical performances, and then a very nice bath complex. Now that's all down below. We're not going to be able to go down there because it's a hike down there, and then you have to hike up. We just don't have the time for that. But
tomorrow in Sardis, you'll be seeing a perfectly restored gymnasium. In Miletus, I'll be taking you into a bath complex. So
Yeah.
you will be seeing some very fine examples of what we will not be able to see here, for the sake of not repeating the same visits to the same type
yeah, but
of
when you go
structures.
down on the carriages, look over onto your right-hand side. You can see those gates for the middle Acropolis and the lower Acropolis, and then there's streets, well-paved streets also on those.
Oh, okay, I have mine too. Okay, got it.